Alright, so today I decided that I wanted to try out the Battlefield 6 campaign, blast through it all and see if it's any good. Now, we've got it on the hardest difficulty because I thought, you know what, maybe there's an achievement for completing it on hard. Spoiler, there's not, just completing one mission. So if you're bothered about the campaign, just do it on easy if you really want to. If you really want to challenge, stick it up. But yeah, I just blast through it on easy. But I thought, let's try it out because it's been a while since we've had like a good Battlefield campaign. I mean, personally, I think the best campaign Battlefield ever did was probably the Bad Company series, like Bad Company series 1 and 2, where obviously like they're hunting like the gold bars and stuff. I thought that was really, really good, but it was kind of, I suppose it wasn't serious, but it still made it really enjoyable. And now they tried to go down that serious route, and I feel like they have on the last few Battlefields, and they're just not been hitting home. There has been some very good missions, to be fair, in the previous Battlefield games, mainly Battlefield 3, which we will touch upon in this video. So just quickly before we get into this, I want to say that I bought Battlefield 6 for the multiplayer, just like most people have bought Battlefield 6. I didn't really care if there was a campaign or not. However, when it did announce that they was going to make a campaign, I personally thought that they would put a little bit of time and care into this to make sure that it was a good campaign. I mean, ultimately, as long as the multiplayer hits, that's all that matters. The campaign is an added bonus, but seeing as we do have the campaign, I thought, you know what, let's give it a review because they have obviously put some time into this, and yeah, see what it's like. Straight off the rip, I just want to say, the graphics-wise, it looks incredible when you're actually playing the game. And what I mean by that is when you're actually involved in shooting stuff, not the cutscenes, which, to be fair, the cutscene that's on on screen now, that looks decent, to be fair. It looks pretty damn good. But you have them other cutscenes where you're in the chopper just previously that are not as good, and the attention to details is missing. I've got something to show you later on where it kind of proves that they've just not really taken care in that bit. But yeah, ultimately, when you're playing the game, which is all that matters, that looks incredibly good. I mean, look how good this bit looks here running down. I'm playing on 1440p, ultra settings. We're running at like I don't think we dropped below 100 frames. It's really, really smooth. Really well optimized. It feels great. And yeah, I mean, like the lighting and everything looks incredible. But it's just them cutscenes, I'll show you later, are just so weird. But let's get onto the juice of it. The main bit, is the campaign any good? To be honest, if I was to give this review right here, right now, I give this between a 3 and a 5 out of 10. It is super dull and poor. I mean, the actual story is just crap. Like, it's so bad. I don't understand. Yeah, it's just terrible. There's just no substance to it. It's just very weak storyline. Yeah, and weren't a fan of it at all. On top of that, the missions themselves are also a bit rubbish. Like, they're just nothing. Again, nothing to them. There's no, like, you can only attack a mission one way, and that is just by fully sending it in. There's no stealth option whatsoever. I mean, even on the previous Battlefield games, I'm pretty sure you could get around stealth. There were a couple of stealth missions where you only had like a knife, I think, in Battlefield 3 again, I think it was. And that was just so good. I mean, there was a point where you could shoot out lights and stuff. I tried it on one of these ones, shooting out some lights to see if I could hide in the dark, but it just didn't work. And you even have like a stealth meter, but it's so pointless because you can't stealth past missions, which I find just incredibly frustrating. It's like they've looked, a lot of these missions, it looks like they've looked at what Call of Duty's done and gone, oh, you know what, we can replicate that in the Battlefield engine, but they've just not replicated it to any decent value. And I must say, I do quite enjoy quite a few of the story missions in Call of Duty, and they had the chance to make them even better in this, right? Make them a bit more, I don't know, realistic or something. I'll change a little twist about them. I mean, there's one in the missions where you've got to clear through the houses, and yeah, it's very, very similar to a Call of Duty one. But again, it's just not as good. There's no kind of stealth aspect to it. As soon as you shoot the first guy, that's it. They all know you're there. Yeah, it just feels very, very poor. Like the structure of the stories, the missions, just very. There's no thought to them. It's just almost like they've gone, here's a mission, just chuck it in, and they've just not thought about that aspect of, oh, maybe you can attack this mission from a different angle or something like that. It's, yeah, very linear, very generic, so boring. Also, one of my major gripes about the campaign is I feel like if they weren't going to put any effort into kind of the story, which it doesn't feel like they have, I would personally make it so that at least the missions, even if you can't do stealth to them or they haven't got, you know, a very good storytelling aspect or anything like that, at least make it so they're almost like training missions for you to train for when you get into multiplayer. And what I mean by that is have a mission in there where you are guaranteed to fly a helicopter or a jet for like a substantial amount of time, because let's be honest, when you get into multiplayer and you get to choose a helicopter or a jet, you don't have time to set up your settings or anything like that. You just have to kind of guess and do it on the win, and then it's just, honestly, it's such a mess when you jump into multiplayer and try and get into a jet. So the amount of people you see just flying to the ground and stuff, I'm the same. I just go straight into the ground because there's nowhere to test it out. I remember again, I think it was Battlefield 4, this one, they had a training grounds on multiplayer where it was basically just like an open kind of Wake Island kind of thing. And you can get into jets, you get into helicopters, you can try them out, you can fly them about. There's no one there, it was just you. And it gave you plenty of time to kind of, get them skills honed in and become a good pilot without having to either A, watch a YouTube video and then try and practice it yourself, or B, just go into a jet, crash into the ground and keep doing that until eventually you get the feel of it. Single player is the perfect place to do that, because then you could just pick up a jet, you could keep playing that mission over and over and over again until eventually you get your settings down, you get the feel for it, and they've just not done that here. I thought there was like a teaser just a couple of times where you jump into a helicopter in the campaign. I'm thinking, oh, this is it, this is where we get to fly it. Nope, it just cuts to a cutscene and the mission's over. I was so disappointed by that. The only thing, little spoiler, but not much of a spoiler, the only vehicles you get to drive are literally a tank, just a basic tank, I think it's M1 Abrams. You get to drive one of the Jeeps and a quad. That is it, 3 vehicles, and considering how many vehicles are in Battlefield, I feel that's so disappointing. Now, this is one of those cutscenes that I wanted to touch on where, personally, I just don't think the detail's there whatsoever. I mean, it feels like it's running, to start with, at 30 frames per second. It's not. I can guarantee you it's at 200 in my corner. But look at these helicopters spawning in. They've got no detail. They keep disappearing. I just want to confirm as well, at this point, I turned all the frame gen crap off. Right, this is all meant to be natural gameplay, and the quality is awful of them helicopters. And I know they can't put quality on every single one of them, but like, what the hell is that? I've got some footage to you, the Battlefield 3, and it looks just the same. And that game is so old. And this part of the mission is another one of those what I talk about, where they tried to copy Call of Duty and not done it as well. This is one of those moments where you used to be able to, in COD, you breach through this door, it goes slow motion, you can take them out. In here, you open it, and it's just unnaturally puts you in. But yeah, like I was saying, I think the game looks really good. I'm super impressed with the graphics. However, there's been a couple of times in a couple of missions where I'm questioning a little bit if they are that good in the campaign anyway. I mean, multiplayer look incredible. I just want to show you this mission here, right? This is the one where you're in a tank, and I'm going to compare it to the Battlefield 3 mission, which is very similar where you're in a tank. Bear in mind, Battlefield 3 came out in 2011, right? And just compare it to what I'm about to show you, because this here, for me personally, doesn't look great. Like, the backdrop of them buildings is all a bit, like, there's no effort into it. Just very bland. It just looks a bit crap. Yeah, PS3 kind of thing. But yeah, we then go to this. This is Battlefield 3, right? Battlefield 3 came out in 2011. Look how good this looks compared to that. And I know you can say it's like a different scenery, but like the backdrop and everything is just all taken care of, like that big smoke cloud and everything like that. It looks so cool. And then obviously I've got to chuck the jet scene in, because it's incredible how good this game looked in 2011. And you compare that to like the cutscenes and stuff that we were getting, where I was saying, like the helicopters, they didn't like render in properly and they were disappearing. Look at this, you've got ships with aircrafts on. Look at the flames of that jet. Oh man, it looks absolutely incredible. And yeah, you just got to remember that this game is, that was such a long time ago, and it still looks so good. And you compare that to where we are now. Yeah, the graphics do look good in Battlefield 6, but like, is it that much better? Again, this cutscene does look good, but is it as good as Battlefield 3? I mean, yeah, it's better, but not that far. Yeah, just got me scratching my head a couple of times in some of the clips I was watching, but yeah, that's only, I suppose, a minor issue when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, because overall, the game is incredible, multiplayer-wise. The campaign is absolutely trash. If you do play it, like, do what I did and just play it for the achievements, or just for like the little challenges that you get in multiplayer at the minute for completing things. You get like a skin and stuff like that. They're all worth doing, but to actually go out your way and play this campaign, honestly, I just put it on easy and just whiz through it as quickly as possible if you just care about the challenges. If you don't care about challenges, just uninstall it and don't play it. Like, honestly, it's just, yeah, a real letdown, personally. It's I thought there was going to be something about this, that it was going to be fairly decent, but yeah, it's just been such a shame. Like I say, overall, I think I have to give it, I think, what did I say, 3 to 5 out of 10. So it's going to be a 4 out of 10, right? But yeah, very, very disappointed. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm dropping a load of Battlefield 6 content when I get the time to do. I've got loads of footage and stuff to put out there. And yeah, I just thought I'd do a quick one on the campaign before we chuck a load of multiplayer videos on here. But yeah, hope you enjoy this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.